It's just everything I need and everything I didn't know I needed. This book had me freaking sobbing. I read these like 2 years ago and I still cannot get them out of my head. Hi, my name is Ian and I really love books. For today's video, I thought that I would do this thing I've seen on BookTube here of basically your favorite books, but instead everyone's being really extra and saying the books I'd sell my soul for to read again for the first time. So I thought I'd do that and be extra because why not? It's fun to be extra. Okay, so I might as well start. But first, I always think this is a good thing to do at the beginning of the video. I would really appreciate a like and subscribe and a comment. It just really helps out, you know, a small channel trying to do this, trying to have fun, trying to get engagement. I would really appreciate it. So if you feel inclined to do that, go ahead. If not, that's cool too. Thanks for watching. So for this video, I decided to separate my books that I'd sell my soul for into the age categories. So I have 2 middle grades, 4 YA books, and 3 adult. So let's get into it. So first I'm going to start with middle grade because it is the one I have the least amount of, and also it's the youngest, so why not start there? It just makes chronological sense. So both of these stories I have actually just read this year, and I loved and cannot stop thinking about them. And the first one is The Island of the Blue Dolphins. This book touched me. I just loved it. So it takes place far off the coast of California, on an island called San Nicolas Island, where this native girl gets left behind, having to fend for herself. And it's about her resourcefulness, how she manages to survive alone, and the friends and all the animals she makes along the way. It's heartbreaking and touching, and this book had me freaking sobbing. If you know the scene, you know the scene. And I was not expecting to cry at all in this book, but I did. I just think it's a wonderful read, and I'm so glad I read it, and I didn't think I would love it as much going into this story. So if you've never picked it up, I would highly recommend this. It's one of the stories I wish I could reread again. So the next book is a 3-book series, which I absolutely adore, and the 4th one is coming out this year, so I'm super excited, and those books are the Nevermore series by Jessica Townsend. I freaking love this so much. It's just everything I need and everything I didn't know I needed. So this story follows a girl named Morrigan, who is said to be cursed. She's blamed for all the local misfortunes, and if that's not bad enough, on her 11th birthday she is said to die. But when her 11th birthday comes, an eccentric man named Jupiter North sweeps her away to the fantastic world of Nevermore, a world where magic and mysteries exist. Morgan will have to compete in 4 dangerous trials in order to stay in Nevermore. And if she fails, she'll be kicked out of Nevermore forever. So good. I love the characters. I love the world. It's just a fantastic tale with so much magic and twists and turns, and along with just amazing characters all around and a fantastic plot. Everything you need in a middle grade story. So you should read it. I wish I could reread it, but there are more books coming, which makes me happy. So yeah. Alright, so now let's get on to the YA section of this video. The first book I have is Legendborn. I am utterly obsessed with this story. Everything about it is just perfect to me. So this book is about a girl named Brianna Matthews, whose mom recently just died in a tragic car accident. She gets accepted to a high school honors program at Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and to escape her grief, she decides to go. When she's there, she's attacked by a magical demon and realizes there's a secret society of demon hunters called Legendborn, and it has something to do with King Arthur. I just love this story. The main character is so strong and so capable, and the world is just fascinating. It's one of the most complex societies of demon hunters and magic users I've seen in a long time, and it will just keep you turning the page because there's so much going on and so much excitement, as well as some good romance, all around something I really wish I could reread for the first time again. So the next 2 books are a duology, and that is 6 of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I love these books, love them so much. I read these like 2 years ago and I still cannot get them out of my head. So this story takes place in Ketterdam, which is the bustling hub of international trade, where anything can be had at the right price. It follows these 6 outcasts who have to go on this heist to break out this man who's created this very deadly but powerful drug that enhances people's magic to unthinkable degrees. And they have to break him out. And yeah, it's so much more than that. The characters are fantastic. I have not fallen in love with a cast of characters like this since like Avatar or something. It's just so incredible. I love the magic. I love the world. I love the complexity of this story. It's just something that can't be skipped over. And I would recommend it so much, and I wish I could read it again for the first time. So the next story I have is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. Oh my gosh, this story has touched me so deeply. I read this when I was around, I think 17, and it was just the perfect read at the perfect point in my life. I just adore this with all my heart. It follows these 2 boys growing up in El Paso, Texas, who meet at a swimming pool and become fast friends. And it's just about their lives and them growing up. It follows the main character Ari and his anger and how he feels different and how he goes through life. It has great family aspects, amazing characters that just feel so real and so raw, beautiful writing, so poetic, so heartfelt. Like, I've never read something that has made me quite feel the same way that this story does. It's just wonderful. It deals with identity, grief, parenting, sexuality, and just coming into yourself. It's probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite books I've ever read. I would sell my soul to read this again, maybe. All right, and now on to the adult books. So the first one is Daisy Jones and the Six. This story just captivated me from the minute I started reading it. It's a story about this band in the 1970s that rises to the top of the charts, becoming the biggest band in the world. And within one tour, they suddenly break up. And it's about how they rose and ultimately how they broke up. It's a fictional oral history, so it's basically, it has like, Daisy, colon, and then Daisy talks, and then it'll have Billy, and Billy talks. So it's done through dialogue, basically, interview style. There's just so much to this story. This is set many years later, so when the characters are looking back, sometimes they get stuff wrong, and I love how everyone is a bit of an unreliable narrator. It deals with addiction, fame, neglect, parenthood, just so much wrapped into this interesting and just fantastic story about these rock stars and what they've gone through. And it's just dazzling, glamorous, like all Taylor Jenkins Reid's books are. So yeah, I would love to reread this again for the first time. So the next book I have is Where the Crawdads Sing. I just can't not put this here. This book has just stuck with me from the moment I read it. There's just something so deep and interesting in this story. I just can't get it out of my head. So this story follows a girl named Kaya who lives in a marsh in South Carolina by herself and has to grow up alone, fending for herself and surviving. A man named Chase Andrews is found dead, and Kaya immediately becomes a suspect. It's about how she survived, how she was abandoned, loneliness, there's romance, and how these people treat this girl because she is from the marsh. All wrapped up in a compelling mystery and courtroom drama, as well as just so many beautifully written nature scenes. It's just something that has stuck with me and I cannot get out of my head. I would love to read this for the first time. And the last book I have is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. This book is probably the sweetest and cutest thing I've ever read. It makes my heart feel warm. Just so adorable. So this is about a man named Linus who is an overworked employee working as a caseworker in the department in charge of magical youth. When Linus is given a classified assignment to travel to a desolate island where 6 of the most dangerous children live, he is shocked. He also must determine if these 6 children are so dangerous that they might bring upon the end of days. It is just so whimsical, so wonderful, queer, and just something that I think could bring a smile to anyone's face. I would love to reread this again. So that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like, I would appreciate a subscribe and a like and a comment. It really helps me out. So yeah, I guess that's all. See you guys in the next one. Bye.